Hi witches, happy Friday. So today we are going to be talking all about home guardians. So this is a pretty common topic. I've seen it floating around the internet a lot. But I wanted to talk to you guys about how I made my home guardians, what home guardians are, and how you can make your own. So home guardians are basically little objects that help bring in protection or another specific energy into your home. So this guy is ceramic. He looks very real on camera to me. Maybe he's a little shiny, I don't know. But as I was like looking at myself, I was like, oh, that looks like I'm really holding a frog. No, he is fake. He's ceramic. Home guardians come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. So I have a smaller one here, but I have a couple larger ones actually hidden throughout my house. I have 6 in total, and I am not going to actually reveal all of them. I feel like I would put myself at some sort of risk doing that. I don't want my protections breached, but I did want to show you one of my garden guardians. So yes, my little grumpy toad. I love him very much. You might have seen this in other videos. He usually sits over here with all of my plants, and he is just there to take care of everything, and he specifically is bringing abundance and prosperity into my garden, which is very exciting. Now, home guardians are objects that have been enchanted to guard the home or match another intention. And much like this guy, they kind of tend to take on a life of their own, right? Now, a home guardian can be something living like a plant or inanimate, like a specific statue or object. I don't know if you guys can see that, sorry. But generally speaking, they are not like living animals that walk around the house. Like Jack, love him. He is my sweet baby boy. Absolutely useless, would not guard the house. Now, home guardians are a form of home ward that witches like to employ in order to protect their sacred space. Like I said, have one in every room of my house and outside of my house, and a few specific ones here in my sacred space room. So I have a couple in here where I do most of my magical workings, but I have them placed throughout the house and then outside of the main entrance to my house. Now, briefly, I do want to touch on home guardians versus servitors, because I know those are two very similar concepts, but they are a little bit different. Now, if you are unfamiliar with the term servitor, that is a-okay. It's actually a concept that comes to us from chaos magic. And through their own energy, they create what is known as a servitor. So this is an entity that, and I quote, is specifically created by the magician to perform a specific range of tasks. Usually this is home protection in this case when you're talking about a servitor that guards the home, but they can do other things as well. I've always personally referred to servitors as tulpas. Like that is how I was introduced to this concept like many moons ago, or a thought form entity. So like I have briefly read about this. It is just not for me. Like chaos magic is a little bit beyond my realm. I do more of the folk magic type stuff. So that is a very long and windy conversation, definitely. And I'm not sure that I really have too much knowledge to speak on it, but that is, from what I understand, what a servitor is. It is a thought form or energy-based entity that is given a specific task by the magician, or the witch, I should say. Now, on the other hand, home guardians are spirits that are usually tied to a physical object within the home that you kind of grow to have a relationship with by honoring them, taking care of them, and often leaving them offerings. Now, as a hedge witch, I am also an animist, and if you are unfamiliar with the term, no worries. An animist is essentially a person who believes that everything on this planet, be it a rock, be it a plant, be it a person, be it what have you, has its own unique energy signature or spirit, soul, whatever term you want to use. I kind of use the word energy signature. And as a hedge witch, I connect with these unique energies in order to create a balanced home. And I do revere my home guardians. I have found that my work with home guardians is a very tranquil and very grounding practice. So hopefully I can share that with you guys today. Okay, so now that we have defined what a home guardian actually is, I'm going to teach you how to make one. The first thing that you'll need is to select your object. Now, all of the home guardians I've either gotten from antique stores, or people have just like given them to me. Specifically, my fiance just like brings things home and I'm like, what is this like object? Why do I connect with it so much? And then once I figured out, oh, that's like a home guardian type energy, I was able to pick up on it a little bit more. They've definitely all had a certain call or a pull to them, and I think that is something that is really important in creating a home guardian. So definitely, I encourage you guys to connect with your intuition and go with what you feel called to select in terms of your object. it really, really helps if it resonates with you or resonates with the intention that you would like to set. So one of the things that I see a lot in terms of like witches making home guardians is gargoyles put outside their home, which is like goth AF, which I love. But it's also like very cool and like I think a little bit sinister. So you can see kind of where these like various guardian statuaries kind of have come from with like throughout history. That's kind of their purpose, right? To be intimidating. And we can use those same concepts and like same psychological concepts, but make them a little bit more witchy, a little bit more magical by connecting with the energy of those objects on a like, if you prefer to go more the plant route, which honestly I think is a little bit easier for beginners, I encourage you to pick out something that really resonates you, but I recommend specifically cacti or carnivorous plants, perhaps for the more experienced gardener, that last one. So plants are super easy to use as home guardians because you can really grow, pun intended, your relationship with them through offerings of water and fertilizer instead of maybe having more complex offerings for objects that have a specific kind of personality. I feel like plants might be easier. And if you are a green witch, this is a great way to like expand your garden, gives you an excuse to get another house plant, I'm just saying. If you do end up selecting a plant, I really recommend drawing protective sigils or different runes, symbols from your practice. It's just another way to really make something a little bit more magical. And as practitioners, I really recommend making things as unique and personal to your practice as possible. So if you are like, oh, I want to try this thing, I really encourage it. If you would like to like fact check or just be like, hey, is this fine? You are always free to DM me. My DMs are always open. So yeah. Step 2 in making a home guardian is to petition your object or plant to aid in your intention. Now, your intention with the home guardian is likely going to be protection, but for example, this little guy is here helping me bring abundance and luck to my garden and inevitably my harvest in the fall. Now, some objects are suited to different intentions. This guy seemed really content in helping me with prosperity versus protection, which I think for a frog totally makes sense. But really the most important thing is connecting with your objects, I feel like, and showing them that reverence and that respect before asking for protection or petitioning them to aid you in whatever workings you are doing. Now, for the less experienced practitioner, connecting with a home guardian might seem a little strange, but I promise you it is worth the effort. One of the best things you can do is sit and actually meditate and hold the object that you would like to connect with. And sitting there and just really connecting with its energy and understanding the purpose of this object in your practice. This is really helpful if you are feeling called to something but like aren't really sure like what it's here to help you with. For example, with this guy, I was like, oh great, he can help protect my garden from like pests and stuff like that. And when I was sitting and meditating, I just kept getting hit with like luck and abundance and like harvest and fertility. So I realized that's what he was kind of trying to tell me he was there to help me with. Now, if sitting and connecting with its energy via meditation is a little bit difficult, I absolutely understand. The same sort of connection can be shown through reverence. So if you got a new plant and you have been consistently watering it and you know that this plant is what you want to use to help protect your house, by connecting with this plant through consistent care, I feel like that is a really great way to start to align your energies, and then that way you can petition the plant or the object, if that makes sense. So different methods, whatever works the best for you, and if a method that I didn't mention works better for you, that is absolutely fine as well. So following this kind of petition, when you are telling your object what you would like for it to help you with, when you feel as though the object accepts or that you two have kind of come to an agreement, like this little guy and myself when I finally got it through my thick skull that he's not here to protect my garden. So each of my home guardians actually houses a tiny piece of paper with my intention written on them, and I wrote out the intentional phrase from the first person perspective as though the home guardian itself is saying it. So for example, I will protect this space. If that makes sense. It can be whatever your intention is. Now, the next step is, and this seems a little bit strange as well, but is to show the guardian the space that it is meant to protect, or in this case, this guy, I kind of just showed him my garden and was like, hey, here's my plants, please help me, in a much more formal way than that. Now, this can be as simple as walking with the object around the boundaries of your property to show it like the realm, I guess, that it is meant to protect and keep safe. If you're an apartment dweller like me, I just walked my objects like around the perimeter of my my house, starting with my sacred space and ending with my sacred space. Then once that is finished and the guardian is kind of familiarized with its space, you can place it in its assigned post. And I think it's very important to have a space specifically designed for your home guardian. You're not moving it around a lot. I find that this kind of shows respect, you know, like you're not moving it from its home and just using it as you wish. You're giving this object a home of its own, and therefore it is kind of tied to this space. I also really recommend finalizing that kind of tour, I guess, or that working by giving an offering of thanks and reverence. Now, home guardians can be placed outside or inside. I have some that are outside, I have some that are inside. And you can really make this ritual of connecting with your home guardian, showing it the space, etc., as elaborate or as simple as you would like. So it does not have to be this grand old thing. It can just be a simple connection. Hey, here's the stuff I need help with. Thank you, here's a present. And again, that is very simplified. I really encourage you guys to rely on your intuition and to make a ceremony that is perfect for your practice with the home guardian that works just for you. So I hope that this video was informative. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. All right, so that is my little spiel on home guardians. Hopefully this inspired you to create one of your own, or at least introduce you to a new type of home ward. If you have any questions, as always, I am trying to keep on top of comments, but my DMs are always open, especially on Instagram. So if you have any questions or would like to run something by me, totally reach out. I would love to chat with you guys about this, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.